Right, time for your business news now to the Money Desk with our business editor, Devin Morgan, who is with us. So, Devin, we're going closer and closer to the festive season, loss of travel, but I believe the aviation industry is raising concern.
Yeah, a lot of things around it at the moment. And remember, this Transnet strike is hovering and it's really having ripple effects. All the industries are complaining that, hey, look, this is putting them at the edge there because we've got a paralysis of the country's ports, and it looks like the consequences of that is now filtering once again to the airline industry. So that crippling Transnet strike, as I said, at those countries' ports may cause another jet fuel crisis. That's the warning from the Airlines Association of Southern Africa. But it's one of many issues facing the local airline industry. I want to bring in Aaron Munetsi. He's the CEO of the Airlines Association to look at that and other issues. Aaron, thanks very much indeed for talking to us this afternoon. So, as we said, ordinarily we start seeing airline activity starting to pick up at this time of the year. You've just had your General Assembly tackling a few of those issues. I want to talk about most of them, but let's start with this jet fuel supply issue. We've had a huge challenge over the last, 2 weeks ago on jet fuel, but I see now the Transnet strike at ports is potentially affecting jet fuel supply. Just tell us about that.
Thank you, Devin, and thank you for having us. Yes, we have just come out of our annual General Assembly, which was held last week. And yes, the security of jet fuel supply was one of the main issues that we discussed. And as an industry, we are very, very concerned with the challenges that the shortage of jet fuel will bring upon our industry and the inconveniences it will cause, obviously, to our passengers and obviously to the people that also use airlines for transporting goods and services. Having said that, Devon, we are not saying that we do not agree or we do not align with the, we are aware of the challenges that the harbour and ports employees are facing. And what we are saying is, in fact, at our AGA, we called upon government and all stakeholders, including labour, to come together so that they can understand each other and come up with a solution. But for us as an airline industry, we are seriously concerned. We dodged a bullet a week or so ago with the challenges that we're facing in Cape Town. The ship was eventually able to dock and discharge fuel. We cannot see ourselves going through this again because what happens is our airlines, the number one thing that they sell are their schedules. And if their schedules are interrupted or disrupted for whatever reason, they lose integrity. And when you lose schedule integrity, you actually don't have an airline industry to speak about. So for us, this is a very, very serious concern.
Yeah, I just want to come in there, Aaron. My apologies. Can I ask you, if the strike is prolonged or protracted for another week or two, would we be getting a severe case of jet fuel supply being constrained? I mean, will that have negative impacts immediately?
Well, fortunately, our stakeholders have also been able to put a plan in place where some of the fuel that we need would probably have to be shipped via rail in another environment. But yes, if this strike is prolonged, it will definitely have devastating impact and effect on our ability to source fuel. And it will literally ground us.
Now, consumers will have their eye on that, Aaron, because remember, there's this growing scarcity of tickets and prices are going up for many other reasons. I suppose you now have also just fewer airlines flying, but you also have fuel costs that are going up. I mean, I don't suppose it's going to get any better in terms of pricing and affordability as we head to December, is it?
No, it will not, Devon. And our biggest, can I say, plus point is that our airlines in South Africa are very resilient. They have gone through one of the most, if not the most, debilitating situation with the pandemic. For them to be able to come out on the other side and be as agile as they are, it says a lot about their resilience. What they need right now is assistance to take them to the next level where they can actually begin to grow. Like you quite rightly say, the cost of fuel is substantially higher this time in October than it was in January this year. Now, add to that the cost of the actual operations themselves. And these are some of the things that we discussed at our annual General Assembly to say the rising cost of fuel comparing with other things as well is increasing the cost of travel so much that even the ordinary passenger who would have wanted to travel by air is now being dissuaded from traveling by air and considering other mode of travel.
Yeah. Aaron, I see the Minister of Tourism also speaking at that General Assembly and conceding that government is behind on its e-visa system. This is a huge issue that's been debated and spoken about for a long time. And if that system doesn't get underway, I mean, this is a very big bugbear for an industry like yours. Airlines would benefit if this e-visa system is working in order. You get more people into your plane with ease. That's something else that's surfaced. Where are we with that?
So yes, Honorable Minister of Tourism came to address the Assembly, and she did speak at length with regards to the visa challenges and the prospects of the e-visa being rolled out. And yes, there are quite a number of challenges with the system. Just the mere fact of converting a paper situation into an electronic situation is quite challenging. And I think the amount of work that needs to be done behind the scenes is quite substantial. But yes, when we as airlines do our planning, we don't only plan for what we call point-to-point travel, where we pick up passengers from one point and drop them in another point. The movement of people and goods has moved so much that we are now talking about the network effect. So a network effect encompasses different people coming from different areas to go and maybe enjoy tourism, for example. So if you don't have e-visas, it means that you are now forcing people to actually travel distances in their own home countries to go to a South African consulate where they will have to apply for a visa. And the process itself is quite, costly, because the passenger then has to travel either if they're traveling on their own or with their family. Everybody has to go and line up to be able to submit their application. And when the visas are issued, they have to go back and collect. So we are saying there is a solution that is in place. We acknowledge the fact that the government already knows that the solution is e-visas. We are appealing through all our respective stakeholders, be it the Ministry of Tourism or Home Affairs, to say, please, can you fast track the process of rolling out the e-visas? We are approaching the peak season now, and this is when we actually need to capture as many of these passengers or travelers and tourists as we can, for the good not only of our airlines, but for the good of our country's economy.